Hi, and welcome to yet another edition of Ask Miss Judes. As always, I hope you're taking good care of yourself and enjoying life as God gives it. I want to start by thanking you, my awesome subscribers and viewers who shared the videos with my mom widely, and just the endearing comments that I've received have been very encouraging. Today's edition is a spin-off of that because one of my friends, a lecturer in the university in the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology in Bondo, Kenya, saw it and she sent back. And part of her comment had a phrase that I thought will make an important, engaging topic. And the phrase, and I told her I would use it, so I'm giving her credit, says true identity defined. And as I read her comments, I was thinking, do we really bring all of who we are to the table every time we are engaging? Because if we don't, we are losing out, our community is losing out, and all of society is losing out. But before we can do that, we need to know who we are so we can bring all of who we are into such settings, especially if who we are have been refined through certain life experiences. So to kind of put that in context, I wanted to quickly do what I do sometimes when I say I want to discover the authentic me, I want to present the authentic me. So I define myself as a child of God. So I'm a Christian, I'm a woman of faith. I believe that Jesus died to reconcile me to the Father. And because of the value of that sacrifice, I do not take my Christianity lightly. So in all of my dealings, I bring that with me. I'm also the wife of a very supportive husband. By the grace of God, I've been married 31 plus years, and to the glory of God, I'm grateful for the husband that He has given me. I am also the mother to 3 adorable adult children. So every time I show up, I'm showing up to represent Jesus. I'm showing up to represent my husband. I'm showing up to represent my children because I don't want them to be embarrassed if I did something wrong. I am also the daughter of my mom. You saw her in the last 2 videos. For those of you who didn't see it, I will link the video on forgiveness into this one so you can look at that, or the one on raising multiple children. So my mother has sacrificed so much and built discipline, respect for God, respect for life, respect for human beings into us, that every interaction that I'm in, I'm bringing that with me. I also happen to be the sister of some 6 amazing brothers and 6 awesome sisters. So I'm a sister to 12 siblings. And I always say, if God were to give me another opportunity to come again to this life, I will choose every one of my siblings again. They're just the best. I also happen to be a professional in higher ed. So I'm a curriculum specialist. I am a teacher by training. And I find that in my job, I have to bring all of who I am into the... So in the University of Technology in Jamaica, when I was a lecturer, I used to say to my students, in fact, I hope it's my phrase, I think I coined it. I used to say to them, there is a fine line for me between motherhood and teacherhood. And if I cross that line with them, they must realize that it's because of the care I invest in their success, why sometimes I will come across as a mother. So I'm not the kind of lecturer who will say, oh, students come to class when they feel like it. I will find out if a student doesn't show up in my class. Why? Not because I'm monitoring them, but because I care enough about their success. And I put myself in their mother's shoes. If mothers have invested to get their children to my college, I believe as a teacher it's my responsibility to support that child to succeed. And I'm hoping that if anybody runs into any of my children or grandchildren in the future, that they would do the same. So all of who we are come from our experiences, our upbringing, the various identities that we carry. And if we pull all of this together, we will say this is our true identity. Now, a lot of us have so many other ways of describing ourselves. I'm also a grandmother, yay, of a grandson who is the sweetest little boy on earth. Now, if I show up at work and God forbid, I'm rude or miserable, then people are thinking, oh, and she says she's a Christian. I will not be representing Jesus if I have a lousy attitude. So, a few months ago, I actually had an experience with an instructor at my college who was really very rude, plain disrespectful. Um, my instinct was to laugh. And the reason I laughed was because I actually felt sorry for him. I thought, if this guy were my son, I would not throw him away. I will have a conversation on where is this coming from. So it is somebody else who was in the interaction, another colleague who was now apologizing on his behalf. And you know why? I really laughed because I thought, poor thing, he must be having such a wretched life to disrespect some other human being. And a human being at that instant was trying to help him make his job easier. But I share this because I wanted to establish that whenever we interact, we are bringing all of who we are. And if we can just have that at the back of our minds, I think it will inform how we show up. I want to be remembered as somebody who invests in other people's success. I want to be remembered as somebody who genuinely cares. Because funny enough, I subscribe to the Ubuntu philosophy in Southern Africa, which really indicates that my success is not complete without your success. So if I bring all of who I am, I make sure my husband is happy, I make sure my children are happy, I make sure my mom is happy, I make sure my grandson is happy, I make sure my siblings are happy. In all of that, I make myself happy. And when I bring my happy self to work, everyone who interacts with me benefits. So the reason I'm proposing to you today that you spend time to look at your true identity. Some people have had very painful life experiences. I need you to process all of that and determine what you're going to do with that, because ultimately you're going to have to show up. And how you show up is important, not just for you, but for everyone with whom you're connected. At home, at work, at play, at church, in your community, everywhere you turn up. So while this is like a spin-off of Mommy's video, I hope that I've challenged you today to just be a bit more intentional about how you show up in everyday life. And I pray that as you continue to be intentional about your interactions, all who are connected to you for good would benefit. What a world it would be if every one of us could show up our best selves and be supportive of each other on life's journey. As always, I trust that you're going to like, share, and subscribe, and that you're going to keep the questions coming in. Again, shout out to my friend in Kenya who gave the idea for today's topic. I look forward to coming your way again real soon. As always, please send your email to askmissjudz@gmail.com, askmzjudz@gmail.com, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Take care. Bye.